Welcome back to a brand new episode of Mastering Programming. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to do something very simple but also very useful at the same time, and that is how to transition from one scene to the other using Spline. Now, as you can see, I've got an empty project over here, so I'm going to click on the right side, and all we have at the moment is one scene, and then we also have a box. So the first thing that I'll do is I'm just going to change this box's color from gray to, let's say, blue. I'm going to add some text here that says scene 1, just so that we know which scene we're on. So I'm going to say scene 1, and what we can do is we can probably just extend this like that, and we can make the font a little bit bigger just like this. And then for the color of the font, we can probably just leave it the same. Now we've got here our scene 1. What I'll do now is I'm going to create scene 2, and to do this, all I need to do is just come to this plus icon over here, and I'm going to click on new scene, and straight away we have a new scene over here. It says scene 2. Now I'm gonna go on this rectangle over here, and let's just create another box or sort of rectangle. This one, maybe let's give it a pinkish color. And then I'm also going to be adding text just over here. And inside of here, we are going to say scene 2. Again, let's just increase the font. This is not meant to like try and make anything look pretty. I'm just trying to show you how we can go from one scene to the other. There we go. Now let's transition back to scene 1 by clicking on scene 1 over here. And what I'll do is you can actually set it up so that when you click on any item, it takes you to scene 2. In our case here, I want it to be so this is like a button, and if I click on it with the mouse, it's going to take us to scene 2. So all we need to do in this sense is just select it. So you can see that I have rectangle 1 selected, and I'm going to scroll all the way up where it says states and events, and I'm going to click on the plus icon for events. Now instead of start, what you want to do is click on this arrow, and here you've got so many options on how you can make an event or an action happen. In our case, we want it to be when on a mouse press, so when I press on the mouse, very simple, and it's going to say trigger on this object. So you can select anywhere else on the scene, but I'm going to make it so that it's on this object specifically. Only if I click on this object, our action is going to happen. Now we've got a list of actions here of things to do, so we can have a transition, we can have an animation play, or a sound. What I want to do is actually two things. Let's add a scene transition, so I'm going to click on the plus icon over here, and then on this arrow, and here I'm going to select scene 2, which means that when I click on this, it's going to take us to scene 2. Now on the transition here, you can select to fade in, so it sort of like fades in, and you can have a duration for that transition. So I'm going to select it, I'm going to make it like 3 or maybe 2, just so that you can actually see the transition and what I mean. Now we can also create another action, and that is a button click. So a sound or a sound effect. So I'm going to click on actions, and again I'll click on sound, and then I'll click over here, and we actually have different options. So I want it to play, and the sound file we can actually select from things that are already existing on Spline by clicking on these 4 dots over here, and then you can select anything here. So something like this, I click. So I'm going to select the click, and then you've got a lot of other options such as volume, the delay, the loop, so it can continue playing, and so on. Let's go ahead and actually play this and see what will happen. So I'm going to click play, and I'm going to click on the box on the square over here. And you can see that we moved to scene 2, and there was this sort of like fading in that happened. Now let's X this, and over here we can see that the volume was 5, so let's make it 10. And also for this, let's have the delay to be 1 second, so that we can hear the sound and then transition, because I think that's why we didn't hear the sound. So let's click on play. Yep, so we heard the sound and then transition. So that's actually a good lesson, because if you play anything like a sound but the transition happens straight away, it will cancel out. Now let's create another button here that will move us to scene 1. So I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go to scene 1. Again, we're just going to select this, click on the plus for events, he select mouse press, and for sound this time, maybe let's go ahead and have a different sound like jump. And again, let's put it to 10. And then I'm going to click on another action and I'll say scene transition plus, and we're going to select scene 1. Now this time I'm not going to have a transition, like it's not going to have that fade in, just because I want to show you the difference. So let's go ahead and select scene 1 and then click on play. I'll click on it, we're gonna hear it, and then we're gonna go to scene 2. This time, however, if I click on scene 2 straight away, we're gonna hear it, and then we're going to transition straight away. You can see this, and then removed. That's how easy it is. Now, hopefully this tutorial showed you how you can actually create some button actions or clicks, how you can move to different scenes, how you can add sound, and so on. If you benefited from this at all, please make sure you do leave a like and a subscribe. And possibly the most beneficial thing is for you to leave a comment to let me know how I can do better or the specific kinds of tutorial that you're after. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you in the next episode.